Yo, yo, yo. How are you out there, golf fans? My name is Joe Idoni. Welcome into the Preferred Lines podcast. This week, big show on tap. The golf season, it may seem like it's dwindling down as the NFL comes up. We're here, September 23rd. It is a Monday at 8 p.m. We're streaming live right now. I have got some radical ideas that I would like to convey and examine that I think could potentially fix professional golf. Quick and easy fix. We're going to preview the President's Cup, all happening right now on Preferred Lines. Thanks for checking out the show. Let's go.
Full 9-iron for him. They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Let's go, baby. Preferred Lines, thank you for checking out the show once again. The show proudly presented to you each and every week by the good people over at RotoBaller. I'm proud to be a member of their PGA team. Their NFL team is absolutely slaying it right now. It should be the absolute first place you go to for fantasy advice, news alerts, injury season, all that good stuff. Make sure to check out the team over there. We are offering 75% off any PGA package for the remainder of the fall to the end of the year. It's an easy entry price, like $3 or something like that a month. It's outrageous. It gives you the chance to test out, get a feel for the offerings that we have available between myself, Byron, Spencer, all the team over there. We would love to have you be a part of that, and I hope to continue bringing great content for the remainder of the fall and all of 2025 on the backs of the good people over at RotoBaller PGA. Just talk to them a little bit about the future and what that holds. They continue to support the show. Anyone who supports the show, I support as well. Thank you, RotoBaller, for believing in me and believing in Preferred Lines and believing in the people who continue to watch this show each and every week. As crazy as it sounds, some of you out there still enjoy this, and I enjoy the hell out of bringing it to you each and every week. Wanted to break down a couple of new things as well. So, Preferred Lines will soon be available on the Golf Newsnet. So this is the GNN. They have a live streaming 24/7 golf station that's available on YouTube. It's available on their website. If you have Amazon Fire or Roku or different types of apps and streaming platforms, it will also be available there as well. So I have this paused right now. They have a ton of really good programming shows over there. It's going to be nonstop 24/7 golf as the Golf Channel continues to wane, and we'll talk about that in a second. More of these platforms, like my boy Ryan has created over there at GNN, are awesome, and I got to talk to you about the folks over at True. What they have done in the market of creating a golf shoe that is not only sustainable, is not only comfortable, but is also extremely functional on the golf course is something that you need to be aware of. They've sent me a few pairs of their shoes. I have a long time been a fan. Anyone who tries them out, they are the absolute best golf shoes that you will ever wear. I've got check these out. Dead Golfer Collection shoes. One of my favorite collections that has come out in the past couple of years. Look at that. Till Death to Us Part on the heel. Bury Me on the links on the inside. These are incredible. The all black, but they just dropped these. The OG Kush. A shoe that is 7 years in the making. I'm trying to get a good angle of it there. This is the Patriot Edition one. You can see there, it's fitting for this week, President's Cup week, US of A, 1776 there. The back is awesome. Look at the bottom, the little T's. Look at the inside. The attention to detail is outrageous for these people. My promo code is IDONI20. That will get you 20% off. It delivers those shoes to your door in under $150, and I promise you, you will never buy another golf shoe. They've supported me for a long time. Check out the good people over at True. Okay, what do you say? Let's talk some golf. Well, so what's going on? We did this a few weeks ago. Wanted to kind of sit and reevaluate. So we had Billy Boy versus Rory. awesome viewing. Great playoff. Wentworth is awesome. The Irish Open is awesome. I've got more on kind of ideas to incorporate those events more. But I think between the timing of it, between when it was on, how it finished, and you can tell the investment of the people that are playing in these events is there. It's there for the fall. It's there in Europe. These events have establishment. They have history. They have meaning. And you can really see it, and it often resonates more to me during this fall swing. Congrats to Billy Boy. You probably should have been on the President's Cup team. Sorry you missed out this year. You have a tendency to win after the team is announced. It's kind of on you. If you would have switched spots with Keegan, you'd probably be in. Switch wins with Keegan. Okay. Team Ripper wins the Live Team Championship. Big fan of the Rippers. I think they are the best team. They actually have sort of they've really galvanized around the team concept more than anyone else. I feel like the Aussies have really gotten into it. They are deserving winners. Congrats to them on winning the Live Golf Team Championship. Can't say that I watched much of it, but it is what it is. Kind of, putting a bow on what happened with Billy and Rory, which is really where my attention was. Just sort of continued this good but also agonizing season for Rory McIlroy. So close yet so far. I continue to worry about the mental toll that this season has potentially taken on his personal psychology and mental health and all that kind of stuff. He makes comments about playing less. I don't know where I'm at with Rory. I sympathize with him a great deal, but he also frustrates me a lot. And it was once again another tournament where he's right in it down the stretch. I think he may have tried to play some mind games there with Billy Horschel down the stretch that backfired if you paid attention closely. But just a season he can hopefully forget and start fresh in 2025. And that's what I want to talk about. So I've got some ideas here. I've created a presentation, and this really all I started thinking about this around the time this summer when the tour kind of slowed down and we got those events of Rocket Mortgage and John Deere and 3M. And it really gave me a chance to sort of evaluate what the current status is and what's going on and how to maybe make it better. So I have an idea, and it really kind of came to a head when you saw the ratings at the Procore, right? New sponsor, one of many that have become new as old ones have eventually dropped out. Shout out to Fortinet, like their CFO was probably dancing on the table when he saw these ratings come in, but 68,000 saw Patton Kizzire win on Sunday. There's about 15,000 golf courses in the United States. I bet the Clubhouse all had that on or had Golf Channel on. There's about 25 to 30,000 sports bars in the U.S. I bet they all had it on a TV somewhere in the sports bar. That leaves about 20,000 people at home that tuned into this. 20,000 people. And when you think about that number, it's astonishing and it's scary. As someone who is so deeply invested in professional golf, it worries me. When you look at, Bob and Joey Coldcuts and Fat Perez can do hundreds of thousands of views, and Bryson can hit 1 million, and Grant Horvath can hit 1 million. And the PGA Tour is not on YouTube. They're on cable. They're on Golf Channel. They're on CBS. They're on NBC. And you've got some 30,000 people checking out a show. It's like a backyard wrestling league has that many people streaming their stuff on YouTube. It's bad, and Live's not any better. But what can we do to fix it? Are there any simple fixes? Because I think the frustration is building not only with people who have invested and put time and energy and dollars into the PGA Tour, not only people that play for the PGA Tour, but also fans. And that's where I wanted to sort of take this approach. And what sort of things can we do that are easy, that are simple, that I think will be well received, fan friendly, for fan friendly fixes for, that was tough, for fan-friendly fixes for professional golf and most importantly, the PGA Tour. So, old school, if you're familiar with, if you were born around the time and graduated high school in 2005, like I did, you're very familiar and comfortable with a little Microsoft PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and bring it to the stage here. Beautiful home screen. Let's talk about the outline that we're going to go over tonight. If you have any comments and you're here with us live, I would love feedback on this. I would love feedback on this. In fact, if you have a fix that is not mentioned or one of these that is your favorite, drop a comment on this YouTube video and I'm going to pick someone out to send a $30 True gift card to. I will send it right to your email. You can go online at the shop. You can purchase a t-shirt. Let me show you this tee. One sec. Let me show you this tee because this is sick too. And you can actually get this for 30 bucks. I had this on in the video. Look at this. Are you kidding me? NASA patch right here. Embroidered patch on the sleeves. Interplanetary Golf Research Team. The back is also awesome. Big screen printed logo, Spaceman, golf flag, Outer Space Golf Club. Everything they do is an absolute home run right now. I'm going to send you a gift card. You can pick up that shirt. Be cool. Okay. Let's talk about the outline. Here's my 4 fixes. Relatively simple. Number 1, rules. Common sense is calling. Number 2, the time. Play on. If you've watched this show the last couple of months, you know where I'm going with this one. Number 3, the schedule. Less is more. I want to condense the look of the PGA Tour, and I have a plan for it. And number 4, of course, is the abomination that is the current Tour Championship. Needs a complete overhaul and a new look. I've got a plan for that too. Okay, let's start with the rules. And I don't want to change anything drastic. I just want the common sense rulings to be adjusted. And I don't think this is difficult to do. And the most difficult one that everyone, if you're polling the people watching this video, 99.9% of people will agree that the most insane rule in golf is if you hit the fairway, you end up in a divot and you are penalized for that. You now have to hit out of that divot. It's a simple rule change that I think could be relatively easy to get through. It's not hard. It's the most easy and obvious one. Fairway divot relief, bring it into play immediately. What you're dealing with here is pretty simple. It's to me, it's ground under repair, right? There is zero skill separation between ending up in a fairway divot and not. It clearly also disadvantages that player who draws this live because they are essentially playing on a damaged playing condition. It's a chunk out of the basketball court. It's a missing piece of the field, and that's not fair to someone who wasn't aware of the situation before they hit into it. They're literally required to hit a small target, and now you're also adding in that you're spinning a roulette wheel, hoping it doesn't land down green and land in a divot. It clearly plays a factor in performance, which in turn opens the door for a dark cloud potentially over results. And I don't think that we've really had this play out yet. The one that I can think of most was, I think, Paul Casey in the Players a few years ago down the stretch ended up in a divot on a par 5. I think that's the biggest one I can remember, but there are situations, but I can't see that any tournament has been won or lost. But there's importance to every shot, and there's importance to fair play. Look, no close. The rule's already in there. Rule 16, read it right here. Rule 16 covers when and how you may take relief from playing a ball from a different place when you have been interference by an abnormal course conditions. That's this. No closer to the hole, one club, drop, move on, in and out. I don't think that, if we never see a player stripe a drive right down the middle of fairway, be happy about it. Walk up there with his caddy and be completely disappointed and look at him like, what the fuck? If we never see that again, professional golf will be much better for it. That's the only rule change, right? Obvious, common sense, bring it into play. Just get that done. Okay. All right. This is going to be the big one. This is the one that I think I'm going to receive the most pushback on. But here's the deal. Start the clock. The very first event of this season, I want to introduce a shot clock, and I want to introduce it now. Now, here's the thing. A couple of caveats here. This is going to require resources from the PGA Tour, but they have these new strategic partners who are investing billions and billions of dollars into their product. And they are essentially letting basic elements of the game that are important to fans, that are important to players, and that are important to their sponsors be run by Del Boca Vista retirement home patients and kids from the first tee who are getting out of high school, kids getting out of class, like this gentleman right here. Shout out Getty Images. Andrew Weavers gave you credit for this photo. I, of course, photoshopped the shot clock in above it, but this is the easiest way to play it. Now, what's going to happen here is you're going to have a rules official with every single group. And this is where we need the resources. I want that rules official to be in charge of starting and stopping the shot clock and enforcing any violations. It should be 40 seconds, just as the rules shade. It's pretty easy, guys. Like, just get this in there, control with a button, and have the person be able to reset it. And if they violate that rule, they are receiving a 1-stroke penalty. Now, also a caveat, I want to give each player 2 timeouts per round. We'll add another 40 seconds to it. Shouldn't be a big deal here. They did this in baseball. They have done a shot clock in nearly every sport. They have a play clock that runs every single down in football. They have a play clock that runs every single time a ball touches a rim in basketball. Now they have pitchers on a play clock. Find someone to do it. Find someone to implement it. It does not have to be perfect. It's not perfect in those other games. And we will hear grumblings the first month, but you will be amazed. I'm telling you, at how quickly this becomes normalized on the PGA Tour. Give it 1 month, 40 seconds to hit your shot. And if you don't, then you are penalized a stroke. I said about the 2 timeouts, I think I speak for 95% of fans when I say we are sick of 5-hour-plus golf rounds and the tour not being able to finish a Thursday or Friday on a beautiful, non-weather impacted day in Palm Beach or in San Diego or in the deserts of Arizona. When the weather doesn't play a factor and you can't get all your players through, you have a definite problem. I spent a few years, I spent some time during the John Deere trying to basically clock players. What I found is that most come in between 45 and 60 seconds. So right between 45 seconds and 1 minute, right? This is most. There are circumstances that we know who egregiously abuse that. But if you could get that down just a little bit, I think it makes a massive impact. I'm going to bring something up here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring something up here that I wanted to show you. Okay. I wanted to do some basic numbers, right? I'm going to bring this down for a second. I'm going to add this. Okay. So the average shot right now takes between 45 and 60 seconds for a PGA Tour player to hit. Let's go right in the middle of that, and let's say 52.5 seconds. Now, what's the difference if they're held to a 40-second shot clock? I think players are going to hit that shot in about 35 seconds because you're not going to want to risk waiting till the very end, potentially getting penalized. You stand over the ball, a bee flies in your face, you get hit with a gust. You're not going to wait till 40 seconds to hit every shot. So let's say the new average becomes 35 seconds. So you've added 17.5 seconds. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but when each shot is taking 17.5 seconds less per shot, look at the impact that this actually has throughout a full round. Let's say it takes you 72 shots to finish. You play even par, right? 17.5 times 72. Now you're at 1260, right? You've got 3 players in each group. Now let's multiply that by 3. How much time does this actually save those 3 players in playing a round of golf? Hypothetically, right? Let's divide that by 60 seconds in 1 minute, 63 minutes. You can take a 5-hour and 3-minute round and turn it into 4 hours by asking players to adhere to a rule that already exists that you are now just deciding that you would prefer to endorse. Okay? Not only endorse, but you prefer to regulate and officiate. It's time to get some officials. Stop relying on old volunteers. Invest in the resources to make your game a better product for the players, for the tour, for the boardroom, but most of all for the fans. I think this will create a more compelling television product as well. It will create an added element of pressure. You will feel an added element of hustle, right? That we want to see in virtually every other sport. We want to see this kind of stuff. They all have this in place. The rule is already there. All you have to do is enforce it, and I think it's a lot easier than it may appear, right? Just do it. Okay, now moving on. I know that was a big one. The next one's going to be the schedule. And may seem a little bit radical, but here's my proposed new schedule. We're going to start in February, skip the month of January. We're going to open up with the Century. We're going to go Sony Open, Farmers, Pebble, Genesis. That's your February. Move on to March of 2025. These are real dates. Waste Management Phoenix Open. We're going to play the COG. I couldn't get rid of the COG. I got some events out of this thing. I wanted to trim the fat. I'll accept a case to be made to trim the Cognizant Classic out of this, but I'm not going to make it. Then we're going to go to the Players. Then we're going to play the Valspar over in Tampa. Right after that, it's April. It's time for the Masters. Masters, Houston Open, Arnold Palmer Invitation. We're going to go back to Florida briefly. We're then going to play the RBC Heritage. That's going to be your April. You have one major in there the first week. You have 3 other events in the month of April. Then you get to May, the Truist Championship, which I believe is played at the Philly Cricket Club this year. A lot of people are looking forward to that. I do think there should be an event in Philadelphia. I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to leave it in the schedule. Then we're going to play the PGA Championship at Quail. Is that Quail? Yeah, it's Quail Hollow. Quail Hollow is going to host the PGA this year, the Charles Schwab Challenge. Then you play the Memorial at the end of May, as it always is. You get to June, RBC Canadian Open, right before the U.S. Open, just like it should be. U.S. Open played at Oakmont this year. 3M Open, just because I love that event. I can't get it out of here. Travelers Championship, John Deere. Got to keep the deer in June. Then you get to July. We're going to play the Open. We're going to come back and play the Wyndham. We're going to play the St. Jude, the BMW, and the Tour Championship. And what you'll notice is the entire season takes place in 6 months, like every other major sport in the entire world. The season does not drag on for 9 months. Yes. Did I trim events out of there? Yeah. I know you're probably thinking of one right now. You're like, I can't believe he took that out. But can you think of 3 that I took out? If you can't name them all, they don't matter that much. And here's the other element to that. So when you trim the season to 6 months, it makes it easier, for you to then incorporate a live season. You want to create this partnership? Go ahead. Let live play August to December. You're not bastardizing yourself by running multiple events with different people in different places all at the same time with top players on this network and that network. You're sticking to a 6-month schedule. You give live the fall swing. You can also, what I'd also like to implement is the fall swing basically becomes the European Tour swing. You'll notice they took out the Scottish, add that in the fall. Add the Dunhill in the fall. Add Wentworth in the fall. Add the Irish Open. Stop competing against the NFL with the Sanderson Farm and the RSM Classic in the fall. Go to Europe. These guys love these events. They're rich in history. These guys play these events. The trophies mean something. And the best part about it is it's over before kickoff or right after kickoff. Stop competing against the NFL. Know your role, execute in this 6-month off season when your time windows are there, when people's attention are there, when the casual sports fan wants to tune into your sport, and you're done in 6 months. Change happens incredibly fast and it's amazing, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But once we get through July, you see there the end of it is the Tour Championship. I think we all hate what they do right now. I pitched this idea 4 or 5 years ago when we first started the podcast, and I put it into visual form. This is what the Tour Championship would be. I've heard just about every other case, and I can't find one better than this. I want the top 24 players in the FedEx Cup to enter. Okay? The top 8 seeds will get a bye. I included the names, actually, of the top 24 from this year. Now, The other seeds are going to go into a bracket, just like the CFB playoff. They weren't afraid to add teams. The NBA added a new sort of wild card element to their playoffs. MLB has expanded theirs. The NFL has expanded their wild card. That's what this is. Now, the higher seed in those first matchups that you will see, where's the benefit, right? Where's the benefit to being the higher seed? That's what everyone complains about in match play. How do you advantage the player who played better and try to hopefully ensure that the best players are ultimately together in the end? Simple. Match play. Give them a one-up advantage. They start one-up on the first tee. Matthew Pavon versus Robert McIntyre. Matthew Pavon starts one-up. McIntyre birdies the first, and guess what? It's all even from there. But that one-up advantage is, I think, enough there to give them a little bit of an edge to make it worth it to seek out that higher seed. Then they move on to play the top 8. The bracket continues with a higher seed starting with a one-up advantage in each of these matches throughout. Makes it very simple, very easy to understand. You don't even have to understand it. All you do is put the match up. By the time they get to the third hole and this guy's up 3 or up 1, post that on the screen. Your casual fans will get it. They will understand it. They do not understand why Scotty Scheffler starts with a 10-stroke lead. My dad's texting me. His friends are wondering. They're sending me messages. I don't understand this. Nobody gets it. Even the ones who get it don't like it. Okay. Final 4 go into an 18-hole stroke play event. If you proceed to advance out of your bracket, you are going to play the final day, Sunday, 18-hole stroke play. The top 4 players, whoever shoots the best wins the Tour Championship. If that's not Scotty, I'm okay with it, right? That's every other sport. You can have the best regular season. You can accrue all the accolades. You can win all the trophies. We know that the majors are still the most important thing in the world of professional golf, but this gives you a way to settle up and finalize, put like a bow on the season and end it. I don't want a cloud. I don't want a confusing scenario. 18-hole stroke play on Sunday. That's it. Those are my 4 changes for the world of professional golf. To recap, obvious ruling, fairway divot relief, get rid of it. We're going to implement a shot clock. We're going to change the schedule. We're going to reduce less is more, 6-month schedule, squeeze it in. We're going to play in Europe and play live events in the fall, whatever you want to do. The Tour Championship has been revolutionized. And I guess my point here, guys, is that I think all of this seems so radical and weird, but in this day and age, change happens at warp speed. And I think it's partly to do with how fast our minds are willing to gravitate towards something else. But this will become normalized, whatever changes they make in no time. When Liv started their season, it was weird for a couple weeks. Then it became second nature, right? It happened. Look, unthinkable, abnormal, preposterous things become reality in like no time. I've got like, I walk my son to school. There's like 7 Cybertrucks in my neighborhood that passed me. A year ago, I would have thought these are like alien vehicles that have invaded Earth. They look so weird and crazy, but they've become normalized in like a month. You see them on the road anymore. It's like normal when you see a Cybertruck. Our brains are so overconsumed and overwhelmed that we hardly question anything. And by the time we realize something weird is going on, it's already become second nature. It's already become normal. A presidential candidate was shot. Another was swapped. It's just normal, right? We move on so fast that we forget what just happened and the crazy, outrageous things that changed that was happening, and it's just normal, right? Students went from writing essays to prompting AI to write them for them in a matter of weeks. Change is necessary in everything, and I think we will feel the long-term impact, but it won't feel crazy for very long. Just trust me on that. We need to make some moves. I think this helps, and this is a fan-first approach to sort of fixing some of the things that I see wrong with the PGA Tour. Now, there are plenty of things that they do right. I love professional golf. I'm not here to sit here and beat a dead horse, but I think there can be some positive changes that we all see happening. And we just want to see it more with from the perspective of some of the fans and some of the people that are diehard and some of the people that are sweating the pro core. That's me. Okay. Now, Moving on. We're moving past that. Like I said, drop me a comment on the main fix or change that you would like to see to the world of professional golf, and I'm going to pick someone, send you a gift card from True. All right. Let's talk a little bit of President's Cup. So what I'm going to do is bring in here a Royal Montreal. Let me look up the course right here. I'm going to bring this page up, and I'm going to share my screen over on BTN. Par 70, 7,300 yards. From what I've gathered, this is a course that is going to somewhat, I think the attempt by the international team is a valid one. They're kind of taking the approach that, ex-European Ryder Cup teams would take, and they want to mitigate the power advantage of Team USA, and they want to put more of an emphasis on precision and frankly putting. The more that they can put an emphasis on putting, the better for this team, because that makes it random. And anything that introduces outside variables that aren't always controllable helps the underdog, right? We see it in the NFL. We see it in other sports. We see it with Scotty, right? Anytime there are weird outside variables that come into play that make it less controllable and predictable for Scotty Scheffler, the less likely he is to win and the cream is to rise to the top. That's the model here for the international team. Now, do I think they can win? No. Do I think Team USA is a good bet at minus 250? Not really. I don't think I'm going to stake it there. I see why people have it. Look, they haven't won in the last 10. I was looking at Adam Scott's resume. 0-9, and he has that one tie in his first one. But they've been getting crushed. I think this team is pretty disadvantaged as well, heavily in favor of the United States team. We have what I deem to be like 7 of the top 12 players in the field. I've got 10 of the top 18 when I did some of my numbers on Team USA. One of the bets that I think you may be able to consider, and I've never hit one of these, but I always look at them. So Team USA is plus 375 to win by 1-3, and then plus 375 to win by 4-6. That gets you on 5 numbers each way. It gets you on 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Those are winners. Then it gets you on 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. Those are winners. So it gets you 10 outs on the side of Team USA. It doesn't factor in a blowout. There's a chance that it could land on a half point or 3.5 point. Yeah, but if you take both of those, put $100 on each, you're going to lose one, but you hit the other one and you're still plus 275. Now you lose them both, you're minus $200. I think those are pretty smart, savvy plays this week. I do not see a blowout in the works. I see some current form, most recent problems with the Team USA team. Would like to see them coming in a little bit hotter. I see some of the players from the international team I think will be highly motivated, particularly the Canadians. I think they can rally around Mike Weir. I think they can rally around a couple of veterans in Hideki and Adam Scott, and they've got some young talent. I think they can compete. I don't think they'll win. So if you want to bet Team USA to essentially cover a 1 to 6 point spread, you've got plus 375 there on that. I don't think that's a bad bet. A couple of individual players. Let me look at the custom model here. So this is kind of where I was going, and I was essentially just looking at strokes gained total. I didn't want to get too in the weeds with this. Strokes gained total is going to tell you everything you need to know about their form and who's playing well on the last 16, the last 30, the last 50, and the last 100 rounds. This is where I get Team USA. Obviously has the top 3 players. But the big thing here is Scotty and Xander are on another level, man. I mean, they've got the 2 best, but they're well beyond Hideki at number 4, particularly in these team events and format, and they're just playing at a level that has exceeded nearly everyone else in the field. I think Team USA might have made some wise decisions if they're going to place an emphasis on precision here in taking some more accurate players like Russell Henley. Potentially Brian Harman is an accurate player. Keegan is very accurate off the tee and reliable. But as you go down, you see some of the Max Homa. What happened, dude? He's dead last in this field in strokes gained in the last 16, 30, 50 and 100 rounds across the board. How did he get on this team? I get it. He's got a resume, played great at Quail, played pretty good in Italy. He's the worst player in this field, and you can't really argue it. The numbers don't lie here. I don't like that pick. Keegan's not been playing well either. One of the things I'm looking for kind of a little bit when I'm looking at the player props is finding a guy who's spiking recently, who's improving. And that guy for me on the international team is Taylor Pendrith. So Pendy is, I had it up here, 14-1 to be the top international scorer. He's the second worst odds. I don't even mind Ben on at 16-1, but I think it's Pendrith. Look, I think he plays a lot. The form has been improving. He's coming off a couple of good finishes. 14th at the Tour Championship, his best. 13th at the BMW. Got a win earlier this season. He's got the Canadian darling aspect to it. I think him and Connors are the team, right? And I think he can ride Connors' coattails, who is a great fit here. But you look at Corey's odds, and he's 8-1. You're getting nearly double it on Pendrith. I think they play together because they are very close friends. They are both Canadians. The crowd should rally behind this team. They were the best man at each other's wedding. They were both Kent State Golden Flashes college roommates. I think they play together. Now, they were bad at Quail, but I think that experience is worth something for Pendrith here. He is a much better player now than he was 4 years ago. Or the last time, that they played the President's Cup. I also think that he probably gets a favorable singles match against USA. If you remember the last President's Cup, USA completely mopped the floor with them in singles. I think they lost 10-2 in those matchups. I don't think he's going to draw one of the big dogs. Like, I'm worried a little bit if you're looking at Scott, Hideki. They're going to draw Scotty and Xander, and I don't think they win those matchups. So that extra point could potentially be huge, especially on a team that's not going to have as many as Team USA. He's a great putter. He's gotten a lot better, guys. He was a top 10 putter on the PGA Tour last season. And if anything is dangerous in these type of formats, it's a guy who gets a ridiculous hot putter. So people are going to gravitate, I think, toward Hughes, but Taylor Pendrith was a better putter this year. He's been a better player all year. He's trending in better form, and he's got the second worst odds on the international team, 14-1. Take that bet. Okay, Team USA. Similar line of thinking here. Who's improving? That guy for me is Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark is 10-1. He's top 5 in this field over his last 16 rounds. He's improving, and it's really on the heels of his iron play that has been significantly better over his last couple of events leading in that has led to better results. When I pull up Wyndham here, obviously a ton of experience as well. I love the fact that they got the President's Cup headshot here for Windy. Great hats, by the way. The gear that comes out of the President's Cup, both on the international side, I love the black and gold, but just the USA rope hats with the USA embroidered on the front, fire hats. If those are available, somebody please send me a link to those. Sick. But you see here the iron play. I mean, there's ups and downs from Wyndham Clark. I think there are some positive signs there. He finally got things going around the time of the Travelers. A couple of top 10s. Missed the cut at the Pro Tour, but he played, right? I love the fact that he played. There ain't many of them. How many guys in the field played? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the 24 guys played in the Pro Tour. The rest of them we haven't really seen since the Tour Championship. Like the fact that Wyndham Clark played, one of only 2. Wait, Homa. Okay, see, Thigala finished 7th. Homa missed the cut as well. So he missed the cut in Napa. Whatever. Wyndham Clark, 10-1. He's clearly been a top 5 player in the field in terms of strokes gained total. I think he could go with just about anybody, but they might put him with Scotty. I've got a sneaky feeling there that they do put him with Scotty, and if so, that makes a really tough tandem and helps Wyndham Clark out a little bit. Is he going to outscore Xander or Scheffler, who probably play 5? I don't know if Furyk goes 5 with anybody. That's the thing. I think the international team is going to go 5 with Hideki. Maybe not, though, Sadecki's got those injuries, and Adam Scott too. Do you want to roll them out there 5 times? Sung Jae, probably yes. I would say most likely for Team USA would be Xander or Cantlay. Wyndham Clark's going to play a lot. 10-1 Wyndham Clark, 14-1 Taylor Pendrith. Those are my favorite picks for the President's Cup. I'm also going to take that Team USA to win by 1 to 6 strokes, plus 375. Now, you got to bet that twice. Thank you to the great people who have supported this show. During the fall swing, it means a heck of a lot. I still want to put a ton of effort into this. I want to grind. This is something that I still crave doing every Monday. And I do it because the people that give me positive, reinforced feedback on the show. Excited to be a part of the Golf Newsnet team. Thrilled to still be a part of the RotoBaller team. Thank you to True for all their support. Thank you guys. Like, subscribe. Do that for the channel. Still working on new goals for the channel for 2025. You're the absolute best. Drop me a comment. Let you know what you think about my insanely wild PGA Tour fixes. My name is Joe Idoni. At Tour Picks is the place to find me on X and Twitter. This has been another episode of the Preferred Lines podcast. I'm out of here. I'll check you guys later. Peace out, gang.